What if I told you that the bread sitting in your kitchen right now, yes, the one you trust and eat every day, could be silently aging your heart, your brain, and even your joints? It sounds extreme, but for millions of older Americans, this quiet mistake is happening every morning. You're doing your best, eating what feels familiar, maybe what your doctor once called healthy. But despite all your efforts, your energy dips by noon, your knees ache more, and your memory isn't what it used to be. And no one tells you it could be the bread. In this video, we're diving deep into the 5 worst breads for people over 60 and 5 powerful alternatives that could help you feel lighter, think clearer, and move more freely again. These aren't fad diets or miracle cures, just smart, science-backed choices that work with your body, not against it. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? And what time of day is it for you right now? Drop a comment below. Even if it's just a quiet moment in your afternoon, I truly appreciate you being here. If this kind of health insight speaks to you, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss what could change your life next. Most people don't realize this, but the way your body digests bread at 65 is nothing like it did when you were 35. Back then, you could enjoy a sandwich, maybe even a cinnamon roll, and feel fine afterward. But today, that same bread might leave you bloated, tired, or even foggy in the head by mid-afternoon. This isn't just about aging. It's about how your body's digestive system actually changes after 60. Let's break it down simply. After the age of 60, your body produces up to 40% fewer digestive enzymes than it did in your younger years. These enzymes are the tools your body uses to break down food, especially starches like bread. So when you eat bread now, particularly white or sweet varieties, those starches turn into sugar much faster than they should. That leads to sharp blood sugar spikes, followed by crashes that leave you drained, hungry again, or even dizzy. Pause here for a moment and think. Have you ever felt tired, achy, or even irritable after a normal breakfast? For many older adults across the US, from Pennsylvania to Oregon, it's become such a regular feeling they start to believe it's just part of getting old. But that's not entirely true. The truth is, these blood sugar swings aren't harmless. They silently strain your pancreas, disrupt your energy levels, and can even worsen inflammation in your joints and belly. Over time, eating fast-digesting bread daily may contribute to type 2 diabetes, memory lapses, and yes, that stubborn weight gain around the middle. But the digestion challenges don't stop there. As your enzyme production slows, your gut also becomes more sensitive to irritation. That means bread with high gluten or low fiber, like white bread, dinner rolls, or sweet pastries, can lead to bloating, gas, and even low-grade gut inflammation. Many older Americans silently battle constipation, not realizing that part of the problem is the bread they eat every day with breakfast or lunch. And here's something most doctors don't say clearly enough. Your body's ability to absorb key nutrients like vitamin B12 and folate also declines with age. These nutrients aren't just nice to have. They fuel your brain, your mood, and your memory. A lack of them can lead to fatigue, mood swings, or even symptoms that resemble early dementia. So when you eat breads that offer little nutrition but cause digestive stress, you're feeding your cravings, but not your body. It's like fueling a car with the wrong kind of gas. It still runs, but with damage under the hood. This is why more and more seniors in places like Arizona, Minnesota, and even rural Tennessee are turning to smarter bread choices. Breads made from sprouted grains, rye, or whole grains with real seeds are gentler on aging stomachs and provide steady energy, not sugar spikes. They support the gut, protect your joints, and help your brain stay sharper through the day. Because growing older in America shouldn't mean giving up your favorite foods. It just means choosing the ones that love your body back. And when you understand what's really going on inside, those small changes start to feel not only possible, but worth it. 4 types of bread you should eat after 60. 1. 100% whole grain seeded bread. If you're over 60, there's one kind of bread that might quietly become your best friend, and it's not sitting next to the white bread or dinner rolls. It's 100% whole grain seeded bread. And for many older adults in America, it's a small daily habit that's making a big difference. Packed with sunflower seeds, chia, sesame, and pumpkin seeds, this bread does more than just taste hearty. It's loaded with nutrition your body actually needs. Each slice delivers fiber that keeps your digestion steady, healthy fats that calm inflammation, and minerals that support your heart, your brain, and even your joints. In places like Colorado Springs and Fort Worth, more seniors are learning that this isn't just health food, it's fuel for aging well. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. When you eat whole grain seeded bread, you're giving your body antioxidants that protect your DNA from everyday damage. That means less oxidative stress, the kind that silently wears down your cells, ages your skin, and tires out your mind. You're also getting lignans and magnesium, 2 powerful compounds shown in studies from Harvard and Tufts to lower bad cholesterol and support steady blood pressure. Pause and think for a moment. How often do you feel that mid-morning slump where your energy dips and your focus fades? Much of that comes from unstable blood sugar. Unlike white bread or pastries, seeded whole grain bread digests slowly, giving you long-lasting energy without the spike and crash roller coaster. And let's not forget your gut. The fiber in whole grains feeds the good bacteria that support your immune system, your mood, and even your memory. That's not theory, it's science. The Cleveland Clinic has published research showing a link between whole grain intake and reduced risk of depression in older adults. So what's the best way to enjoy it? Try it toasted, topped with avocado and an egg, or almond butter with sliced banana. You can make a sandwich with tuna salad, or tear it into a bowl of greens with olive oil and lemon. It's not about giving up flavor. It's about choosing food that loves you back. And here in America, where food is fast and habits are deep, it's empowering to know that one simple slice can support your heart, your brain, and your future, starting with breakfast. 2. Rye bread. If you've been feeling that familiar wave of fatigue after lunch, or that stubborn weight creeping around your midsection, you're not alone. Across America, especially among folks over 65, managing blood sugar and digestion has become one of the quiet daily battles. But here's something most people don't know. A simple switch to rye bread could make that daily struggle a whole lot easier. Rye bread, especially the dark, dense kind, made from whole rye flour, is a staple in many parts of Northern Europe. But more seniors here in the US, from Wisconsin to New York, are discovering its quiet power. Unlike white or even wheat bread, rye is packed with soluble fiber that slows digestion and helps keep you feeling full for hours. That's not just a good feeling. It's also a critical tool in managing blood sugar and energy. Here's why it matters. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to insulin, and our metabolism slows, especially after 60. Eating refined grains or sugary breads can cause quick spikes in glucose, which over time leads to insulin resistance. But rye bread digests slowly, releasing sugar into the bloodstream at a steady pace. No crashes, no spikes, just sustained energy. A 2020 study from Finland followed adults over 65 and found that eating just 2 slices of whole-grain rye bread per day reduced LDL cholesterol by 16% over 3 months. That's the kind of number we usually expect from medication. But here, it's coming from food, real, honest, affordable food that you can find in most American grocery stores. And when your cholesterol improves naturally, your heart has less stress, your arteries stay more flexible, and your blood flows freely where it needs to go. Now let's talk digestion. Many older adults experience constipation or irregularity, especially if their diet lacks fiber. The fiber in rye feeds the healthy bacteria in your gut, helping things move smoothly and supporting immune health from the inside out. In cities like Portland or Kansas City, dietitians are now recommending rye bread as a gentle way to improve gut health without harsh laxatives. If you're new to rye, try it toasted with a slice of smoked salmon, a boiled egg, or a spoonful of cottage cheese. It pairs beautifully with soup on a cold afternoon, or alongside some sharp cheddar and fresh apple slices. Because after all, in this stage of life, the food you choose isn't just about taste, it's about support, strength, and stability. 3. Authentic sourdough bread. There's something comforting about the smell of warm bread in the morning, something that brings back memories of simpler days in kitchens across America. But if you're over 60, you might have noticed that bread doesn't always feel the same in your body anymore. Maybe it leaves you feeling heavy, a little bloated, or tired sooner than expected. That's where authentic sourdough bread quietly shines. And it's not just about taste. Real sourdough, made with just flour, water, and a live starter, goes through a slow, natural fermentation process. That fermentation breaks down much of the gluten and phytic acid, 2 things that often cause trouble in aging digestive systems. The result is a loaf that's easier to digest, less likely to spike your blood sugar, and better tolerated by sensitive stomachs. Here in the US, more dietitians, from Chicago to Santa Fe, are recommending sourdough for older adults who want to eat bread without paying the price afterward. That's because it does more than just go down easy. Sourdough's natural bacteria act like prebiotics, feeding the good microbes in your gut that support your immunity, your digestion, and even your mood. It's gut-friendly comfort food, backed by science, not just nostalgia. Have you ever felt lighter, more regular, or less gassy after switching to sourdough? It's not your imagination. A 2022 study from the University of Toronto found that older adults who ate sourdough for just 1 week saw reduced bloating, steadier energy, and better post-meal blood sugar. And since blood sugar fluctuations are closely tied to fatigue and brain fog, this simple bread can actually help you feel more clear-headed throughout your day. And let's be honest, after 60, we're not just eating for flavor anymore. We're eating for stability, for that feeling of control in a body that sometimes surprises us. And sourdough offers that stability, 1 slice at a time. Try it toasted with a little avocado and sea salt in the morning. Or stack it with fresh tomato, egg, and a few leafy greens for lunch. You'll find that it satisfies without weighing you down, just as food should. Because here in America, where so many meals feel rushed or over-processed, it's refreshing to enjoy something that's both old-fashioned and healing. Sometimes the best support for your health isn't found in a pill bottle. It's found in the kind of bread your grandmother used to bake. 4. Sprouted grain. Bread ho. There's something deeply reassuring about starting your day with a warm slice of bread, especially when that bread gives more than just comfort. For many older adults in America, from the coast of Maine to the hills of Tennessee, the switch to sprouted grain bread has become more than a diet choice. It's become a way to eat smarter, feel lighter, and reclaim energy they thought was gone for good. Sprouted grain bread isn't made with ordinary flour. Instead, it comes from whole grains that have been soaked and allowed to sprout, just like seeds waking up in spring. This process naturally breaks down starches and proteins, turning them into simpler forms that your digestive system can absorb more gently and efficiently. That's why so many people over 65 find it easier on their stomachs and easier on their bodies. But the benefits go far beyond digestion. Studies from institutions like UCLA and Johns Hopkins have shown that sprouted grains improve the body's ability to absorb vitamin B12 and folate, two nutrients that become harder to process as we age. These nutrients are key for brain function, mood stability, and protecting against memory loss. Low levels have been linked to fatigue, brain fog, and even depression in older Americans. And here's something else you might not expect. Sprouted grains contain anti-inflammatory compounds that may help reduce our joint stiffness and arthritis pain, especially in the knees and hands. That's why more seniors in cities like Denver and Des Moines are turning to sprouted grain toast, not just for taste, but for relief. It's food that works with your body, not against it. The flavor? Nutty, hearty, and surprisingly satisfying. The texture holds up beautifully in a toaster and pairs well with healthy toppings like almond butter and sliced banana, or even mashed avocado and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Start with just one slice at breakfast and notice how it fuels you gently without the crash of sugary cereal or white toast. In today's America, where processed foods dominate the shelves and quick fixes often fail us, choosing sprouted grain bread is a quiet act of care. It says, my health matters, my mornings matter, my future is worth nourishing. And sometimes the most powerful changes begin with something as simple and sacred as a better slice of bread. 4 types of bread to avoid after age 60. 1. Gluten-free white bread. Gluten-free sounds like a healthy choice, and for some people, it absolutely is. But here's the surprising truth. Many seniors in America are only now discovering. Not all gluten-free breads are good for you, especially the ones made with refined starches like white rice flour, tapioca, or potato starch. In fact, these breads can send your blood sugar soaring even faster than regular white bread. You see, after 60, your metabolism slows, and your body becomes more sensitive to blood sugar changes. So when you eat a slice of gluten-free white bread, thinking it's the safer option, you might be unknowingly triggering a glucose spike that leaves you tired, foggy, or hungrier an hour later. And it happens quietly, without warning, which makes it all the more frustrating. That's because these starch-based breads are stripped of natural fiber, vitamins, and healthy fats. They digest rapidly, behave more like sugar than grain, and offer little support for your gut, brain, or energy. Many older adults in cities like Phoenix, Milwaukee, or Jacksonville say they feel more joint pain, mood swings, or cravings, especially after switching to store-bought gluten-free bread. The label might look clean, but the impact inside your body is anything but. And unless you have celiac disease or a true gluten sensitivity, There's no medical need to avoid traditional whole grain bread. So if you're reaching for gluten-free loaves just to be safe, pause for a moment. Read the label. Look for whole ingredients, not just starch and gums, because in America, where food marketing is loud but often misleading, your best defense is knowing what truly supports your aging body. And often, it starts with the kind of bread you bring to your table. 2. Potato bread. It's soft, it's golden, and it reminds many of us of childhood lunches or holiday leftovers. But potato bread might not be as friendly to aging bodies as it seems. Across dining tables in America, especially among seniors trying to eat lighter, potato bread often appears as a safer, gentler option. But what you might not realize is that this comfort food can quietly work against your health after 60. Most commercial potato breads are made with refined white flour, added sugar, potato flakes, and sometimes oils or butter for texture. That combination creates a fast-digesting starch bomb that hits your bloodstream quickly, pushing your blood sugar up almost instantly. And if you're like many older Americans dealing with slower metabolism or insulin resistance, that rapid rise can take a real toll. Research in geriatric nutrition shows that frequent blood sugar spikes increase insulin resistance, which is one of the first steps toward type 2 diabetes. It also fuels low-grade inflammation, especially in the joints and belly, and can lead to gradual but stubborn weight gain around the waist. You may not notice it overnight, but over weeks and months, it shows up in your energy, your digestion, and even your mood. In cities like Cleveland or Sacramento, more doctors are now advising seniors to limit potato bread, especially if it's made from ultra-processed ingredients. The lack of fiber and nutrients makes it less satisfying, and you're often hungry again just an hour or two later. That leads to more snacking, more fatigue, and a harder time managing blood sugar through the day. So if you love the soft texture, look for whole grain alternatives with real fiber and fewer additives. Because in today's America, every small food choice adds up, and your bread should support your energy, not drain it. 3. Sweet bread and pastries. There's something about a warm cinnamon roll or a soft sweet bun that brings back memories, maybe Sunday mornings in Missouri or coffee breaks in small-town Ohio. And for many older Americans, these pastries feel like a little reward, a comfort, a piece of joy in the day. But the truth is, after 60, our bodies respond to sugar very differently, and those sweet breads may be doing more harm than we realize. When you eat a pastry made with refined flour and added sugar, your blood sugar rises quickly, triggering a surge of insulin. And while that may give a brief energy boost, it's usually followed by a crash, leaving you tired, foggy, or craving more sugar within the hour. Over time, these spikes can wear down your insulin response, setting the stage for type 2 diabetes, joint inflammation, and chronic fatigue. What many seniors don't realize is that sugar doesn't just affect blood, it affects the brain. High sugar intake has been linked to increased rates of depression and anxiety in older adults, especially those already dealing with isolation or sleep problems. At the same time, sugar triggers inflammation throughout the body, worsening arthritis pain and accelerating the breakdown of cartilage in aging joints. In places like Atlanta or Minneapolis, more geriatric clinics are urging older adults to cut back on pastries, not because of guilt, but because of quality of life. When you reduce sugar, many people report sleeping better, moving easier, and feeling more emotionally balanced. It's not about giving up joy. It's about choosing foods that lift you, not drain you. If you love sweet flavors, try a slice of whole grain toast with mashed banana and cinnamon, or baked apples with oats. Because in today's America, where sugar hides in plain sight, every mindful choice is a step toward clarity, comfort, and a better morning. 4. White bread. For many Americans, white bread feels like home. It's what we grew up with, on peanut butter sandwiches in Indiana, or turkey melts in Florida diners. But after age 60, that familiar soft slice may be doing more damage than comfort, one bite at a time. White bread is made from refined flour, stripped of its fiber, its nutrients, and the hearty goodness your body truly needs. Without fiber, to slow digestion, the starch in white bread turns quickly into glucose, causing a sharp spike in blood sugar. And while that might not have mattered much when you were 30, it can now disrupt your energy, your focus, and even your sleep. Studies from American nutrition journals have linked regular white bread consumption to memory decline and midsection weight gain. 2 issues older adults struggle with silently. That belly fat isn't just a cosmetic concern, it's connected to inflammation, insulin resistance, and a higher risk of stroke and heart disease. And the lack of fiber? It often leads to constipation, a common but under-discussed challenge for seniors across the US, especially those on medications. You might not feel the effect after one sandwich, but over months and years, the impact builds. White bread gives quick comfort, but almost no lasting nourishment, leaving you more tired, more hungry, and less stable throughout the day. It's like burning paper instead of wood. You get a quick flame, but no steady warmth. That's why more older Americans in places like Seattle and Charlotte are slowly shifting to whole grain options, not out of fear, but out of love, for their minds, their mobility, and their mornings. Because at this stage of life, your bread should do more than fill your plate. It should feed your strength, your clarity, and your future. When we talk about bread, most people think of taste, texture, or childhood comfort, not their heart health or memory. But after 60, the kind of bread you choose each morning doesn't just fill your stomach. It affects your brain, your joints, and even your future. You see, as we age, our body becomes more sensitive to blood sugar swings. Eating the wrong kind of bread, especially white, sweet, or starchy loaves, can spike glucose levels fast, even if you don't feel it right away. And when your blood sugar rises sharply, it doesn't just affect energy, it silently strains the tiny blood vessels that feed your heart, brain, and joints. Think of these vessels like garden hoses feeding your most vital organs. When blood sugar spikes over and over, the walls of those vessels get stiff, narrow, and inflamed. Over time, this leads to reduced circulation to the brain, which scientists have linked to cognitive decline and memory loss in older adults. In places like Boston or Omaha, doctors now view post-meal blood sugar as a major risk factor, not just for diabetes, but for early signs of dementia. Meanwhile, poor circulation also affects the cartilage and synovial tissue in your knees, hips, and hands, contributing to stiffness, swelling, and joint pain. All from bread that seems harmless on your plate. But here's the hopeful part. Choosing the right bread, made with whole grains, seeds, or natural fermentation, can turn this around. These breads digest slowly, giving your body a steady stream of energy, not a sudden sugar dump. They also contain anti-inflammatory nutrients that help soothe joint tissues and preserve brain function as you age. Many older Americans in cities like Asheville and San Diego are finding that just this one switch, changing their bread, has led to more stable moods, better sleep, and even sharper focus. It's not about cutting out bread entirely. It's about giving your body the kind of support It quietly asks for every day, because here in America, we often overlook the small things. But sometimes, one thoughtful slice at breakfast can protect your heart, fuel your brain, and keep your steps lighter, one morning at a time. The truth is, bread can be a quiet healer or a hidden trigger, depending on the one you choose each day. In your 30s, your body may have handled anything you threw at it. But after 60, every bite starts to matter more. That slice on your plate is no longer just about taste or habit. It's part of your circulation, your joints, your memory, and your future. And the good news is, it doesn't take a dramatic overhaul to feel the difference. Just one thoughtful change, like swapping white bread for rye or trying sprouted grain instead of something processed, can start to shift how your body feels. You might notice your belly feels calmer after breakfast, your knees ache a little less, or your energy lasts deeper into the afternoon. Some people even say they sleep better or think more clearly, simply from choosing bread that supports rather than drains. Here in America, we're often told to look for the big solution, but for many of us, especially in this chapter of life, it's the small, quiet habits that offer the most lasting strength. And bread, the thing we eat nearly every day, is a powerful place to begin. So now, I'd love to hear from you. What kind of bread are you eating today? And what's one new kind you're curious to try after watching this? Let me know in the comments. I read every one, and your story might just help someone else take that first step too. And if you found this video helpful, or even if it just made you pause and think differently about something so ordinary, I hope you'll stick around. Click that like button to help this reach others like you. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video. We've got more simple, science-backed health tips coming soon, all tailored for folks over 60. Because your health still matters. Your strength still matters. And sometimes a better tomorrow starts with the bread you toast this morning.